the next lever after increasing, if we can't increase revenue more, or if we've already increased revenue, then we need to see how can we bring direct costs down while still delivering. Lazan, can I ask you for a couple of ideas in terms of how does one cut direct costs of delivering a product or service?
Yeah, I think what's important here, Lo, is to really go back to basics and look at the smallest component of the product that you deliver, or that makes up that product or the service that you deliver, and to identify the different savings that you can make. One of the things one can do is maybe to review your product features and see, is it possible to actually leave that feature out? Does it really add a specific value or a value that your customer wants? Both Dana and Uwais mentioned value add. I read this great book recently called Ask by Ryan Levesque. And he said, we're so afraid to go to our clients and simply ask what they want, but it's the easiest thing to do. We can do surveys, in whatever way. So simply ask your clients what they want. Maybe there's a specific feature in your product that's not that important to them. The flip side of that, of course, is that if your client asks for something specific, now may not necessarily be the time to spend a lot of money on research and development, and not try to bend backwards for your clients. Something else that you can do is to see what's right for your business versus do you need to buy in bulk and save money that way and get a discount on your products, or do you need to implement something like just in time where you really just get products in or your raw materials in as you produce. I think on the labor side, unfortunately, the first thing that comes to mind is, of course, to cut your staff numbers. I know very early on in the lockdown period, one of my clients mentioned to me, it feels like she's overreacting because she was very aggressive with her staff numbers that she cut. Now it wasn't an easy process, but she's very happy that she did that. Something else to do is to have a look at automation. That may, of course, require some CapEx in the beginning, but CapEx layout, but it can save time or money over time. Consider putting some of your staff on short time. I think if somebody has a choice, they'll rather get 80 or 60% of their salary than no salary. It's maybe also a good time to review staff's KPIs and just to review the process that you use to manage your workforce.
Sure. There's a lot of golden nuggets in there. Thank you, Lazan. I think that's really nice and comprehensive, and a lot of things to think about. So yeah, we want to be able to still render the quality product or service that we are known for in the market as a business, but you want to see how can you make the actual cost per unit kind of way more in your favor. And interesting, I'm going to a quote of a quote. Donnie Nell, who's one of the global coaches for Entrepreneur Organization, recently said he's friends with one of the Nando's co-founders, and they said they were measuring their profitability in terms of the region or the specific area or even the city, and they weren't quite getting the numbers right until they drilled it down to their profit per chicken. What is that smallest kind of economic unit that you can measure the revenue, direct costs, and operating expenses of? And once they got that right and understood their profit per chicken, they could manage the whole group in terms of that, and the business started really turning around and doing really well. So I think for you as a business owner, figure out what is your chicken like. How can you figure out what's the smallest unit that you get that is income generating and expense causing, and how can you maximize the value that the business retains while still rendering a quality product or service to your customer? I think that's kind of the golden question, right?
Hey, Lo here, one of the founders of Outsourced CFO. If you enjoyed this video, make it official. Click subscribe.